The 805 Focus is brought to you in part by Nonprofit Connect. Nonprofit Connect provides superior leadership tools and resources so nonprofit leaders and board members can make valuable decisions to move their organization forward to a sustainable and vibrant future. More information on services online at nonprofitconnect.org.
Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cynder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Barbara Robertson, and Barbara is President and CEO of the Scholarship Foundation of Santa Barbara. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you, Cynder. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I want to hear all about what's going on with the Scholarship Foundation. You folks have been very busy helping a lot of very worthy students.
We certainly have, and this past May we've just wrapped up our last year of awards, and we awarded over $8 million to just over 2,000 county-wide students. So we're very, very proud of that.
$8 million. So awards, when you say, you mean giving out scholarships? $8 million worth of scholarships given out to local students.
Exactly, that's right.
I want to make sure I understand it.
And this year we're even more proud is that we funded every eligible student. Oh. Our board took the extra step when we were doing our budget, and we're fine-tuning it, and one board member said, how much would it cost for us, how much are we short? How could we fund every student? And we did the math, and they raised additional funds in 1 month to be able to award all eligible students. So that's the first time ever in our 59-year history. So
God, that says a lot about your board.
Yes.
59 years.
59 years. So we've come a long way, and I think a lot of people don't even know that we exist, and of course other people really know we exist. But in those 59 years, it started with some PTA parents, and they raised some money and gave away 9 $100 book awards. And fast forward, well, not fast forward, but 59 years later, just over $8 million.
Wow.
And cumulatively, we've awarded over $137 million to our 55,000 county students, which I think is pretty impressive. And we are the largest private scholarship foundation in the country. So that's, again, something we're proud of.
In the country?
Yeah, so Santa Barbara has a lot to be proud of.
Yes, I'd say. So the largest scholarship foundation in the country.
Private, yes.
Wow. We have come a long ways.
We have. And I like to think of us as a clearinghouse for scholarships.
Oh.
We administer almost 500 different scholarship funds, and this could be from individuals, from corporations, from foundations, service clubs, just a really wide variety of people in our community and in Santa Barbara County. So we're locally funded, we're a grassroots organization, but we're still managing to get a lot of our students off to school.
So help me understand how that works. When you say funds, so let's just say this one group says, oh, we're going to raise this, do they say we're going to raise this money and we want it to go for this kind of a student, or?
Yes. As we say, you can do it your way. Obviously, we try not to be too restrictive, but that's, I think, part of our appeal. A lot of people say that's restrictive, but sometimes that's actually helpful. So some student donors might like to help medical students, nursing students. I see. They might like to help students from a certain high school. They might like to help, say, for a family. There was maybe somebody in their family that they like to honor, and they would like to do a scholarship for their mother was a teacher or whatever. So or music students, architecture. We also work with a lot of the service clubs, like the Rotary clubs. Yeah. So theirs might be more broader. So they might be wanting to fund students, say if it's a Rotary in Santa Maria, they might want those students. In Goleta, they might want those students. So it sounds like there's a lot of things, and it is a lot of manipulation to do, but it's not that restrictive, and it really gets us out there to hit a broader group of the community. So someone might students attending a certain school, that might have been their alma mater. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice, because then the donor feels there's a more of a connection to them and to the student.
Right. that flexibility and tailoring it, I think, would be really important and attractive to donors.
It really is, and donors can change their mind, or year over year. We try not to have that happen too often, but yeah, and we have donors that have set up multiple funds. They say this fund is for architecture students, and then they might say later set up a different fund for a nursing student. So there's lots of flexibility, and that's why we are able to award so many different students. It's not just based on need and achievement. There's sort of all these other sort of more subjective factors as well.
That could be pretty complicated as you start trying to figure out who gets the awards.
Yes, we've just put in some new software. It is, but we have a hierarchy, which funds are more difficult to fill first, or specialized funds. But over time, you just kind of get used to it. And some of them have multiple factors, so that's good. The other thing that we're trying to do now, too, is have what I call cohort funds, so that donors, if the student's making good academic progress, they can be renewed in the fund, so that we can, with our mission, we've kind of changed it a little bit to say to and through post-secondary education. Before, we were kind of getting everybody to school, pat in the back, way to go. And now we realize we need to get them through school. And so we would like our donors to, if they can, renew the student, or have many of our larger funds have, maybe they're funding 20 students, so we can fund some in their freshmen and then follow them through sophomore, junior, and senior year. And we let the donors know every year. We send them a bio of their student, and the student sends them a thank you letter. So this is another thing that they can get more of a connection with the student and follow them through their career.
Yeah.
So that's also a big part of what we're trying to do, is this whole idea of to and through. We also are very proud of our record. The 6-year college graduation rates nationally is running around 66-67%, and for our students it's 81%.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Right. And then the other piece of that, what we're trying to look at, is to see too, student loan debt is a huge thing.
Yes.
So now with our software and things, we're going to be tracking more of the money the students get and see what their debt load is. So currently the national average is about $40,000 in debt. And our students, it's just over 30,000. So we're, now we're going to see if it's because of the funding they receive from us, which is obviously be really great to figure that piece of it out.
Gosh, those statistics are amazing.
So we've worked hard.
So can someone, or do they often donate to the Scholarship Foundation, not making a fund? Just here, I believe in what you're doing. You decide how you want to disperse these funds. Does that happen too?
And those are our unrestricted funds. And of course, those are the really special funds too for us. When we get down to the last couple hundred students and we're really wishing to fund them all, it's really nice to have some restricted dollars that we can just say, okay, we can fund these, and this is what we did this year. So that was really heartwarming, because it's always difficult to turn away students, and we do encourage them to reapply. They can reapply.
That's good.
So we do, but it's getting that word out. A lot of times they think that they can't reapply if they weren't awarded, and that's simply not the case, because usually we just didn't have enough money to award them.
Yeah. So let's just say somebody's watching this and they say, oh, I'm going to be a student. I never heard about this Scholarship Foundation. What would you say to them for what they should do to find out how to apply?
Well, great question. First of all, they should go to our website. Our application comes out every year on October the 15th. These deadlines are evergreen, and you need to be completed by January 15th. Once you start that process, we will send you lots of reminders to keep you on that path. And then on May 15th, we announce our awards. We also do financial aid advising. We have 4 full-time program advisors. Students can contact us. There's lots of information on our website. They can get some one-on-one counseling or help from our students. The biggest thing we offer is Fafsa Completion, which is the federal form for free financial aid.
Yeah.
and that's a bear to fill in.
Oh,
It's
yes.
but we work. We go to what we used to when it was in person. Go to all the high schools and meet with back to school nights, and we partner with CalSoap and other groups to get that. But we still are doing that. That's a big part of what we do. So if they have any questions about filling in those forms, parents can contact us. Families. Our advisors are all bilingual, and we also go out to any community groups that will have us to, that might have college-bound students in like housing projects or wherever. We'll go wherever. So this is all provided free of charge, and so people can just call us anytime, even if they're not applying for our scholarships. We can still help them with their financial aid.
Wow, that's really a value in itself.
The Fafsa Completion is one of the biggest indicator of students actually going to college. It's kind of like if you get in the mode, like, oh, I'm doing the Fafsa, I'm going to college, you start saying that, you're probably more likely to then actually enroll. So that's a very big thing. And that's something too, I think in 2021, with our student aid advising, our students leveraged almost $40 million in federal and state funds.
Wow.
That, if you don't apply, you don't get the money, or if you fill it in wrong, you don't get the money. So we can help them sort out errors. I mean, it's a huge amount of money. I think 2 years ago, there was over $500 million left on the table from the state of California because people just didn't apply. So there's money out there for students, and you just have to do the paperwork, but it's like doing a tax return to do it.
So this can be for a student who's going to a 2-year or a 4-year school?
2-year, 4-year, vocational.
Oh, vocational too.
As long as it's an accredited school, which means that they can get federal loans. If it's a accredited Title IV school, and it can be anywhere. It can be not just in California. We have students studying all over the world. We have students in, not all the time, but we've had students in New Zealand, in Europe, in Canada. So as long as the school's accredited, it's kind of like the student can go where they want to go to get the best education they can get. So it doesn't have to be in California. It can be a 2-year, they can be transferring, or a vocational program. So we want everybody to get that extra level of education.
And typically students who do apply live in Santa Barbara or Santa Barbara County or?
Santa Barbara County. They must be a graduate of a Santa Barbara County high school.
Okay, gotcha.
But you don't have to apply just as when you're a high school senior. If someone took a break for 2 years and they even might have moved to Washington, they can still apply by virtue of the fact that they graduated from a Santa Barbara County high school.
Okay, gotcha. So, that's really cool. So they could have moved somewhere else.
Right.
But if they graduated from here, they can still apply.
Still here.
That's important information.
Yes.
For people to know. Gosh, all these wonderful things that you're doing, and my guess is a lot of people don't know.
Right. I mean, often we get people in our system, and then it's good. The first person goes off to college. That's another thing. Over 51% of our students are first-generation college
I was going
students.
to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Say that again.
51% are first-generation students, which is great because we see so often the first one gets to college and then they become the advocate for their siblings, and then we can follow the whole family through. So once one gets in, then more will go along. So that's really, really good. And we're pretty evenly split between North County and South County students in terms of numbers.
That's good.
There's a
that's really
great need in North County. So we're pretty proud of this, how we've managed to get more into North County as well. So
yeah. Do you think most communities have something like this?
No. Like I say, we are really, there's a scholarship foundation there's just a handful in the country. There's one in Denver, but in Denver you have to go to school in Colorado. There's one in St. Louis, and there's one in Texas, but there's not very many. It's really it's great that we are the largest, but it's very sad that there's not more communities that are helping their students in this way, in this broad way.
Gosh, well, hooray for those PTA moms 59 years ago that decided to give out $100 scholarships, and then hooray for all the people over the last 59 years who have grown that work to what it is today. It's really impressive.
No, we have a really strong board. Maximum we can have is 40 members. I know most people say that's really
40 board
terrible.
members? It's not terrible.
It's wonderful.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful. And our board members interview the students. That's a requirement of all new students, is they get an interview. And we conduct these in March. And last year we did, I think, about 1,300 interviews all via Zoom this year too. So of course we couldn't go out, but that was fun too. So we still did it. It's part of our process, and it's just a wonderful experience to meet, actually meet the students and talk to them, because you can read their application, but just like this, just sitting down and talking to the student, you can find out so much more.
I bet they get nervous, those students.
Some of them would get very, very nervous, and then others, that's half the challenge, is make them, and some of them it's the first interview they've ever had.
Yeah.
So, that's part of the process too, just sort of get to know them and just see their motivation and see what they want to do. And because we have this broad 500 funds, we could be looking for someone literally who's been bowling all their life, or So it's like, that's the kind of things you find out from when you talk to them. So that's really nice and special.
So is a student typically interviewed by one board member, 2 or 3 at a time? How does that work?
They're interviewed individually in most cases, and it's our board, and we do have other volunteers. It takes, I think we have approximately 200 volunteers to help us do this. We train them. But it's all in 1 month, so it's just...
Oh, all those interviews happen in one month. Gotcha. Well, of course, that would make sense.
Right, because we have to get it done to add that to their application. The application closes in January 15th, as I mentioned, and then it takes us a month to review everything for completeness, their transcripts and all that kind of stuff, and then the interview comes in March. So it's a tight process, but it's really good.
So let's just say somebody's very inspired by what they're hearing here today. They can go on your website and make a financial donation. They can find out more about your work. Maybe they want to get involved in some way.
Yes, there's lots of information on our website, and there is, of course, a donate button. But also, another thing that we're very proud of, we administer these funds, but we do not charge any administrative fee.
Oh.
So 100% of the donations go to students.
That's important.
So if someone sets up a scholarship fund, all that money will go to the student. We don't take something off the top. So that's really nice too. It's just like, all right, this is all going directly to the students. So that's pretty powerful.
That's saying a lot. That's an important piece of information to get out there too.
So there's no hidden fees or charges, and there's no fee for the students to apply. They have to pay, I think, $60, $65 to do a UC application.
Yep.
And I mean, yes, you can get fee waivers and all that, but we try and keep it really simple. Just complete our form, no charges. Give us a donation, no fee.
Gee. So Barbara, we have about a minute or so left. Is there anything else you would want the community, our listeners, to know about Scholarship Foundation of Santa Barbara?
Well, we just think education is really, really important, and we've seen with COVID it's no less important.
Oh gosh, isn't that the truth?
And even though education is being delivered in a different way, students are still going to college. We haven't seen too many taking a gap year, so we're really pleased that they're going to.
Good.
And we would just welcome the community to find out more about us, and certainly to donate, but we have a very broad base. If they look on our website, our donors and our funders, we're really broad based, so we're just really proud of that. And if they know of any students that are seniors, please have them contact us if they need any help filling out the Fafsa or and to do our application.
Great.
Any local seniors, so get the word out.
And you might be willing to do, let's just say, Rotary presentations or to any other service clubs?
Absolutely. Just did one end of July to one of the Rotaries here. I'll give them a shout out, Goleta North Rotary, so that was good. Yes, we go out to all the service clubs or all different kinds of organizations that want to hear more. We also partner with other things like United Way and Boys and Girls Club, Girls Inc.
Oh, that's good.
To do, help them. We used to be able to go on their campuses. We're just working out for next year, but we also like to partner with any community organization that is youth related. In the summers, we try and get out to the younger students as well in junior high or even lower to start thinking about going to college.
That's really good to know. Gosh. Well, Barbara, thank you so much for being here with us today and for all of the great work that you and your team are doing in the community.
Well, thank you, Cynder. It's been a pleasure, and it's important work, so we really want to thank the community as well.
And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.